everyone, welcome. It has been quite a while since I have posted a monthly favorites video. I honestly can't tell you why exactly I got away from doing monthly favorites, but they're back for now. This month, for my February 2025 monthly favorites, I have a lot of complexion products to talk about. The other day I posted a video where I followed along with another much younger content creator's Holy Grail foundation routine. And in case you missed it, I will have it linked for you in the description box of this video. And one of the products I had to go out and purchase in order to use the exact same products that she used in the video was this Bioma Hydrating Milky Toner. Now, she says in her video, in her TikTok video, that this is supposedly a dupe for the Rhode Skin Glazing Milk. Ever since it launched and sort of went viral, I have been wanting to try the Rhode Skin Glazing Milk, but I wasn't sure if it would be for me as someone with very oily skin. My skin tends to be glowy enough on its own after a few hours when my natural oils come through. Even if I'm using a mattifying primer and a matte foundation and a powder and a setting spray, my oils still come through. So I never purchased it. But when I heard that this Bioma Milky Toner, Hydrating Milky Toner, was supposedly a dupe, and then I went and read some of the reviews and saw how good the reviews are. And then I saw that it was sold out. So I'm thinking, well, it must be really good. I was glad that I was able to find it at my local Ulta in a set. I couldn't get just the toner. I did have to purchase the set, but I travel a lot, so I thought, oh, it wouldn't be so bad to also have this travel-sized cleanser. This is the Milky Moisture Cleanser with oat extract and panthenol. I have not tried this yet, so I can't speak to it, but I can speak to the Milky Toner. I have been using it every single day. It is now part of my everyday base routine. I love the way it feels on my skin. It sinks in very, very quickly. It works beautifully under foundation. And now, of course, you're wondering, well, what exactly is it supposed to do? Well, because I cannot remember all of this off the top of my head, I'm just going to read it to you. It is an ultra-soothing face toner with barrier lipids plus a super supportive duo of polyglutamic acid and I think this is pronounced Cica, C-I-C-A. The gentle, milky formula helps lock in moisture across multiple layers of the skin, minimizing water loss for radiant, dewy results and a stronger skin barrier. It is great for sensitive or sensitized skin. So it hydrates, it repairs, and even though I am oily, a lot of times oily skin gets very dehydrated because we have a tendency to strip away those oils with all of those oil absorbing and oil controlling products that those of us with oily skin tend to use sometimes too much of. So our skin can become dehydrated, therein becoming even more oily because our oil glands are working overtime to compensate. So I'm not going to sit here and say that this is life-changing, but I have enjoyed incorporating it into my foundation routine and I am loving the results. And in that foundation routine I posted the other day, I used, again, what this content creator used in her video because I wanted it to be exactly the same, which was the L'Oreal True Match. And that was one of the reasons why I was so surprised at how well the foundation ended up looking at the end and how well it held up throughout the day, because that is not a foundation that I typically would ever reach for, the L'Oreal True Match, because I am always just drawn to matte, matte, matte. I also have a tendency to use more medium to full coverage foundations, hence why I am in love with the new Lawless Forget the Filler Skin Plumping Line Smoothing Foundation. This is a weightless, full coverage, non-acnogenic foundation that instantly blurs and smooths my skin. It's talc-free, it's vegan, it's long-wearing, it comes in 33 shades, I believe. It's fragrance-free, it's dermatologist tested, it retails for $43. It comes in nice packaging with a pump. The shade I've been using is 7L, and it is the one I have on today. And I mentioned in the last video where I talked about this foundation that I was sent 3 shades by Lawless in a PR package: 6L, 7L, and 8L. And unfortunately, all of them were too dark for my natural, non-fake tanned skin. But if I do use an at-home fake tanner, or I just bring the foundation down my neck and chest and use a little L'Oreal 3-second setting mist, I can use this foundation, and I have been. I think I also mentioned in that video that I was going to try to go to a Sephora store once the testers were in store, to see if I could get a color match to my actual non-faked tan skin tone. But unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to do that yet. And the feedback I'm getting on the shade range, unfortunately, is not that great. It seems to me that people who have seen some of the other lighter shades, that they too are running very warm. And that's kind of a bummer. I really do wish that, since I'm putting this in my monthly favorites video, that I could say it's going to be a favorite for the majority of you. But knowing now that the shade range isn't as inclusive as I had hoped or I thought it would be, then while it is my favorite, one of my current favorites, I don't know for sure if it's going to be one of your favorites. But if you happen to find a shade and you happen to want a foundation that is really good at offering coverage and blurring texture and fine lines, or if you have acne that you need to cover up, then I do highly recommend at least checking it out. Another thing you might want to consider, if you really like this formula as much as I do, but it's just too warm toned for you, I would check out the LA Girl Pro Matte Mixing Pigment, or even any brand. And I'll do a little bit of research before I post this video to see if there are any other brands that make blue color correcting drops. Because if you add a blue color corrector to a really warm toned foundation, it will definitely take out some of that warmth and make it more ashy without changing the color too much, making it too light or too dark. So that's something to consider if you have this or any other foundation in your collection that might be too warm for your skin tone. Blue color correcting drops can be very, very helpful for not just foundations, but also for concealers, for liquid blushes. Speaking of other liquid products, liquid contour is something that I do use a lot of. I have a couple of favorites. And that is why I was hesitant to purchase another one, thinking, my goodness, you do not need another liquid contour. I was saying that to myself. But my job is to test makeup and report my thoughts to you all. So I did go and purchase the Rare Beauty Liquid Contour, and I purchased the shade Mellow. This is one of the best contour shades I have ever found for my skin tone. It's not too light. It's not too dark. It's not too golden. And as much as I do really love my Physicians Formula contour wand, it does come in that same packaging as the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand, which isn't really my favorite kind of packaging. This is the one I am now finding myself reaching for over that one, at least in the past 10 days since I purchased this. And you can see just by me doing that it is really cool toned, but it's not gray. I don't know how it's coming up on camera. It looks almost a little green under these lights, but I can promise you in person, it is one of the most natural looking contour products that I have tried. Now, am I going to stop recommending the Physicians Formula contour wand? Absolutely not. But this is another really, really great option, this Rare Beauty. Okay, I feel like doing that got rid of a little bit of my blush, so I want to add more blush to this face, especially under the lights. Things tend to get really washed out. So let's talk about this palette from the brand Vive. About 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I tried the brand Vive, which is a UK-based brand created by a fellow content creator, Jamie Genevieve. I purchased a bunch of products from her brand, again, like 2.5 years ago, tried it out, did a full dedicated video, and I really, really loved so many of the products. I thought they were really, really impressive. In fact, I think I labeled that video something like the very best influencer brand, ? And as it turns out, I think it might be my favorite influencer brand. But back to this palette. I watched another content creator, Mandy Davis MUA. I will put a link to her channel in the description box. About a month or so ago, she did a video using Vive products, and she used one of their new eyeshadow palettes and some of the newer products that the brand has come out with in the last couple of years since I originally tried it. So I decided that I wanted to place an order. And so one of the things I ordered was this beautiful face palette. It comes with 2 bronzer/blushes, a highlighter, and what I would call an actual blush. These 2, I say blush/bronzers because I've been sort of using them more as a blush than a bronzer. I'm still using a product I will get to next, which is this Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, one of my favorites for the month. I'll put that all over my face. Well, not all over, but where I normally put bronzer. And then I will take these 2, and then I just sort of apply it to my cheeks like I would a blush. And then I go into the pink blush, pop that right on top. I think it's so, so pretty. And then this highlighter is also beautiful. So I'm going to go into that. And there's the highlight. When I bought this, I figured it would be great for travel because I could also use these 2 shades up here as eyeshadow. I could also use the highlighter as eyeshadow. Today I went for a matte lid, but I did put a little bit of the highlighter into my tear ducts. And I'm just really, really happy with this palette, and I'm reaching for it pretty much daily. So getting back to that bronzer I just spoke about for 2 seconds. This is another product I used in that foundation routine video that I had not tried before. Wait, let me backtrack. I had tried another Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer before, but it was in a shade darker than this, so I don't reach for it very often because it's just really, really dark for my skin tone. But this one, Sunset Bronzer, is beautiful. It's perfect. It gives me just the right amount of sun-kissed color. It smells so good. If you like beachy smells, that is. I happen to like beachy smells a lot. It does have a little brush under here. I don't use this at all. I use a big fluffy bronzer brush. Ooh, I just noticed it has a mirror as well. I bought this for around maybe $8 to $10 on Amazon. It's lighter than both my City Bronzer, my Maybelline City Bronzer that I talk about a lot, and also the Gucci Bronzer that I talk about a lot. I have that in shade 3. This one is definitely lighter. So I use this on my kind of more natural makeup days, not necessarily my full glam going out evening looks. For those occasions, I'll probably still reach for my Gucci, but lately, just day in and day out, and even for today's filming, I reached for this one. For obvious reasons, because I try to use all of my favorites on my face if I'm talking about them in a favorites video. It just makes sense, right? All right, next up, this new Kosas Loose Powder. This is the Kosas Cloud Set Translucent Candy Rose Ultra Transparent Powder. You get 20 grams of product. This is talc-free. It is so finely milled, so silky, so whisper light. And something else I love about this, aside from all that, is the packaging. It's got this little plastic lip on it. I wish all loose powders had this plastic lip on it so you don't get that collection of powder on top. You know what I'm talking about? So many times, if it doesn't have this plastic piece here, you open up the lid of your powder and you've got just this abundance of loose powder sitting right on top. I much prefer this type of packaging where you've got that plastic cover, you open it up, then you can tap some into the cap. You have a lot more control of how much goes into the cap. Then you can close it and then take your brush or puff and just get rid of any shine, airbrush that skin. And I feel like it gives me a truly, truly flawless finish. If you have large pores, texture, fine lines, I really, really think you are going to like this powder a lot, and you get a lot of product for your money. I spoke about this powder in another video where I also spoke about the new L'Oreal Infallible powder that I also like. It's a soft pink powder as well, but you get such a tiny amount for like $15. I believe what I said in that video is you would have to purchase 3 of those L'Oreal powders at $15 to get, I think, even less product. I think it was even less product than just purchasing 1 of these for $38. All right, it's time to talk about this brush. This is the Makeup by Mario F4 double-ended brush. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm just like a lot of you. I get influenced. I see a product being used over and over again, and, well, let's be honest, 8 times out of 10, I already own the product because I'm a beauty junkie and a beauty content creator, so there's a good chance I already own the product. But once in a while, there is a viral brush or skincare product or makeup product that everyone's talking about that I don't have, that I haven't tried. And I did not have this brush. And for the longest time, years in fact, I never bought it. The Sephora sale would come around, different opportunities would come around for me to buy it at a discount, and I just never did because I have so many brushes from BK Beauty, from Rephr, from Sigma. Let's just say I have an insane amount of makeup brushes. So why would I ever go buy a new one if I have other ones that work just as well? So this is another product that I'm not going to sit here and say it's life-changing. It's not, but I am glad I bought it and I love it and I'm using it every single day. There's just something about it. And I have seen the dupe. I actually have the dupe by the brand Jessup, and it's not quite the same. There is just something really special, in my opinion, about this brush. I use this side for foundation. I bounce the foundation onto my skin with this. It's very seamless. I don't feel like I'm wasting any product with this. When I first started working for Giorgio Armani in 2005, foundation brushes were just becoming a thing. And Giorgio Armani had this little, well, the brush was about this big, like standard size brush, and it was flat. Yeah, I'm doing a really awful job with my little finger diagram. Anyway, it was this probably 1 inch wide by 1 inch tall sort of curved brush, and we were told to apply everyone's foundation with this brush. The Luminous Silk Foundation was it. It was all the rage. It still is quite popular. I think we all know that. And being that I worked for the company, we were pushed to apply the foundation with that specific brush. Sell the brush, sell the foundation. Well, the problem with that was that the brush left streaks. You would apply that to the face. They wanted you to kind of apply it like this, you know, from the center out, which a lot of us still do. But instead of doing like a nice patting motion or a motion like this, they wanted us to kind of swipe it, and it would just leave streaks on people's faces. So thankfully, we've come a long way from that, but finding the right foundation brush or sponge, if that's what you prefer, can take some trial and error. And not all brushes are created equally. And sometimes one brush will work better for one foundation than it does for another. Same thing with a sponge. Sometimes a damp foundation sponge works better than using a dry foundation sponge. The point I'm trying to make is you don't know what you don't know. You may have a foundation brush that you're using and you love, and you are not interested in trying anything else. But personally, I'm always interested in trying different things, especially if it's something that it seems like everyone is raving about. So I caved, I bought it, I love it. As I was saying, I use this for foundation. I use the other side for cream blush. You can also use it to blend out cream contour. You can also use it to blend out concealer. This is just a very multi-purpose brush that I highly recommend. And finally, let's talk about this lip combo. For liner, I am using one of my favorite lip liners of all time. Well, one of my favorite lip liner brands, which is Ortega, created by the celebrity makeup artist, Etienne Ortega. I have spoken about his products several times just in the last couple of months. And in my most recent video where I spoke about Ortega, I spoke about the lip liners in Nubes. Nubes? I said noobs, and I'm so embarrassed because people who speak Spanish were telling me that it's Nubes. Nubes. It's not noobs, let's just say that. So I hate that. I always try to pronounce things correctly, and now in hindsight, I probably should have looked up how to say it. Anyway, I digress. I also have the shade LA Chic, but that one is a little bit dark for me. So I decided, because these were on sale on Amazon, just a couple bucks off. Normally they're $16. They were on sale for $14. I bought Cinnamon Girl, and this is a little bit warmer toned than Nubes, but it's not so warm that it's orange. What I love about these pencils is how soft they are, yet long wearing. They're super easy to blend. When it comes to lip liners, my preference is not usually the kind that you twist up. I feel like I'm more drawn to traditional wood pencils that you sharpen, but these have changed my mind. I reach for these lip pencils so much. And then the lip gloss is $3. I was scrolling through social media the other day and I came across a video from my very good friend, Stephanie Marie. And I know she's told me about this lip gloss before, and I know I've purchased it before. I just don't know what happened to it. In her video, her lip color was so pretty, and the video was about her lip color being this $3 lip gloss from Wet n Wild in the shade Bronzed Berry. I immediately thought to myself, you have that lip gloss around here somewhere. But then I also thought it's probably so old. I think they've changed the formula and or the packaging since then. So I just went out and bought a new one. And you guys, this stuff is so good for a $3 lip gloss. I mean, let's be real. I have $25 lip glosses that this compares to. The color's so pretty. It has a little bit of a frost to it, so if you're not a fan of frost, then you probably won't like this color. I happen to like a frost. This is not the frost of 1987, that icy pink lip gloss that I am traumatized by because I wore it when I had those beautiful silver braces in 7th grade, and it was just such a horrible look, yet I rocked it every single day, as did a lot of my friends. So this is not your 80s frost. This is an updated, modern frost that I think looks really pretty, and I'm loving this combo. So to get both for under $20, I think that's pretty good. And I have been wearing this combo all the time. So there they are, my February 2025 beauty favorites. I will have every product listed and linked for your convenience in the description box, as well as linked directly through YouTube Shopping. If you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to leave them for me in the comments. If you did enjoy this video, I really appreciate you giving it a thumbs up. And if you are not already subscribed to my channel, I hope that you will consider doing so. I do upload new videos at least twice per week. You can also find more videos from me over on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. My username is the same on every platform. It's Risa Does Makeup. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you in my next video.